had a stretch, a bathroom break, ate my food, ready for another round. Let me get the chat pulled up and we can continue on. Alright. Vena. Alright. Cutscenes. Yes, let's do it.
So, it is within. The portal that brought you hither, and will take you home.
Yes, this is where we part ways. I would offer to stay and help, but I've got a baby back in our time, and I am very concerned for him.
May you and yours emerge triumphant. Make use of the knowledge you have gained, that your days in Elpis and our friend's sacrifice be not in vain. With Meteion free to pursue her designs, 'tis only a matter of time until the final days are upon us. We must be ready. From fortifying our defenses to securing our escape, there is much to be done. In spite of this, we cannot allow the report that set this calamity in motion to become common knowledge. Were the masses to learn the fates of the other stars, I fear the situation would spiral out of our control. I must carefully consider who can be trusted, and bring them into the fold. Ordinarily, I wouldn't hesitate to call upon the 14. However, it was the desire for a fair determination that drove Hermes to attempt to erase our memories. Were he made aware of his actions, there is no telling whether he would remain a friend or become a foe. Alternately, we might try to alienate him from the convocation. Yet in doing so, we would deprive ourselves of a brilliant mind, who would be invaluable in the crises to come. Quite the dilemma. Which is why I must work independently of the convocation. Regardless of how we proceed, if we are to permanently avert the final days, we must be equal to Hermes' challenge. We must prove that mankind is worthy to exist. And this hinges, I think, on how we confront the all-consuming despair that accompanies a senseless and seemingly inevitable end. Bewildered and divided, we would perish like the peoples of those celestial ruins. We could not hope to survive the final days, much less take the battle to Meteion at her nest. We must find a way to defeat despair, to unite and prepare as many as possible for the struggle ahead. Heavy will weigh the burden of guiding this legion of souls. Yet I have faith in mankind's potential. As long as he believes in himself, there is naught he cannot achieve. So I will not give up on him. On us. You may find your world to be very different. Or perhaps the erasure of our friend's memories has sown the seeds of a conjunction between us. We cannot know until the moment is at hand. So shall I strive to do my best, taking naught for granted as I walk my path. And I pray you walk with me to the end. As you move forward, so too will I, as will all, resolved to fight for the morrow. And when mankind has found the strength to stand against despair, we shall silence the Song of Oblivion. She who sings it will learn our journey is far from over. This I promise. Fare you well, my light of the future. Till we meet again.
Thank you for now. Whee! At some point when I'm over there, I'll find a place to change my clothes. Right, I guess I'm heading to the first.
From this day forth, I shall strive to bring honor to the seat of Fantaxy.
And of course, they're playing Answers here.
Even now, I remember standing there, locked in a moment where the sky is aflame. Where stars fall as tears, and screams darken the seas. Where resignation rots the trees. Where terror twists magics into abominations. Such is the lament of they who have gone before. The song of they who tried and failed to create a better world. The song of the end. That which hides at the edge of the universe is no longer hope's creation. It is hopelessness incarnate. That day, mankind saw half of its number sacrificed to bring forth Zodiac. And covering the star in a shroud of ether, we forestalled the final days. Yet the cries echoed still. We wept for innocence lost, wailed for death inevitable. A reality too terrible to bear. And for too many who sought comfort in gilded memories of joyful days and tranquil nights.
This is all wrong! Why must we suffer so?
It needn't be like this. No. There must be a way to restore things to the way they were. To reclaim the perfect paradise we once had.
No, my friends. Suffering exists, and we cannot pretend otherwise. No civilization, however great, could eliminate it. If we would live, we must accept it as our constant companion. Let us not seek to forget this tragedy. Let us carry it in our hearts, that we may grow stronger and know true happiness.
We can't accept it! We won't accept it! It will be ours again! A world free of sorrow!
No, it will not. For there has ever been sorrow. Mankind was but spared its biting sting for a time. So please, open your eyes. To try and reclaim those lives we lost by sacrificing yet more isn't wisdom. It is weakness. No paradise is without its shadows. If we cannot accept this truth and learn from our pain, then our plight shall be repeated.
O mighty Zodiac! God, born of our boundless faith, we bid you, hear our prayer. Accept this offering of lives, and deliver unto us the lives we once had. Deliver unto us the days of old, the days when the star was a font of love, and we knew naught but bliss.
You would destroy it? Our beautiful world?
Lands that stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all, a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning and my purpose. My love. In spite of, or perhaps because of this, I choose to believe in mankind's potential. In his ability to
Roxas.
find a way forward. So let there be no way back. From that temptation, I sunder us. No more shall man have wings to bear him to paradise. Henceforth, he shall walk.
Roxas.
All is excruciating pain. I breathe fire and torment. I birth a world of suffering to mire and plague. In one fleeting moment, lives come and go, ever moving towards the unknown. And in that fleeting moment, they cry for the answer to the question. Why, given life, are they meant to suffer, to die? As fragmented, imperfect beings, yours is a never-ending quest. A quest to find your purpose, knowing your end is assured.
Ashfan.
To find the strength to continue when all strength has left you. To find joy even as darkness descends. And amidst deepest despair, light everlasting.
Of course, through that my cats were being ornery. Hooray!
A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
Well, that wasn't heavy at all. Oh boy. Okay, now it has the two options. That's cool. That's... we'll see how much it costs when... Oh, hang on, we need to... do this. Actions. Oh, we don't have it anymore! We used up all our things! Jules needs to go buy more! At the very least, going to the source should make it slightly cheaper, I would think. maybe. It's still pricey as heck. Instance 1 of Old Charlian. Let's see. It's like a summoner horn, except it's not just for summoners. Somewhere in all this. There it is. Search for where it is in this stuff. There it is. Dungeon anyway. This is what I got. And go back in. I think that was the only aiming gear I got from the entire dungeon, which it actually... It's not 100%, but it actually looks like Ascian robes, which kind of happy about. Because I've been hoping for Ascian robes at some point. Hold on, let me double check something. Alright, we'll just pull this out. Actually, not this. Pull this out. Oh, you can't. Oh, you can't dye it. Dang it. Alright. So I am happy we have Ascian robes, so I take it if you get the full set, you just straight up look like an Ascian. That excites me. But for now, I am going to glamour this. Where is it? I know I stuck it in here somewhere. There it is. But yeah, in the future, I will almost definitely glamour that. Or just straight up wear it. Well, I am gonna wear it when I'm leveling things, but I may stick a set in the glamour closet just for future use. Alright. Now we're ready to go see Kryl. You have a knack for turning up exactly when needed, and this is no exception. Shallan? Impeccable timing, as always. I'd heard you were off to the first as part of our efforts to investigate the final days. Well, as so often seems to be the case while you were away, we've had some few developments, which we can discuss in just a moment. For now, however, I cannot tell you how wonderful it is to have you back. What is that? Oh, it's a weapon. Okay. I mean, my news could be considered urgent. So have you learned aught more of the final days? I have learned its cause. Then the journey was well worth the risk. No doubt your newfound knowledge will be a great boon to us all. Unfortunately, during your time in the First, events here have taken a turn for the worse. The Scions are running themselves ragged trying to contain the spread of the blasphemies, but it's a losing battle. To try and ascertain the where and why of it, Alice and Alphino have been traveling all over. Of all the regions they visited, Locus and Moses was the worst affected. Thancred, Estenian, and Graha took a detachment of allied soldiers there to offer aid and succor to those in need. Aid and succor! Sorry. But the province is vast. They only managed to visit a handful of coastal villages. It was an accomplishment worth celebrating, but still, but a drop in the bucket at best. In the meantime, Y'shtola and Master Matoya have been making a concerted effort to establish contact with Hydaelyn and the Ethereal Sea, but to no avail. As for Tataru and I, we have been keeping a close eye on the Forum. From what we gather, they've been constructing a vessel to ferry people to the moon, an ambitious project that has likely been years, if not decades, in the making. However, since we've seen no sign of it thus far, I suspect it's still incomplete. You'll also recall the proposal issued by Master Fortuno to the people of Radzatan. Following their discussion, Breacher declared his support for the plan and urged those who wished to evacuate to accept the Forum's invitation. So far so good, but this is where things get a little strange. Apparently, the Forum caught wind of the lunar teleporter in the Tower of Babel and decided to use it to deliver people to the moon instead of their own mysterious ship. Therefore, to secure safe passage for the Hanish refugees to the tower, Alphino, Alice, Estenian, and Graha traveled to Garlemald not long ago. Trouble is, the capital was hardly the safest place to begin with, and now the final days have come to Garlemald. Shortly after our friends arrived, they were sent to a rendezvous with Master Fortuno. Then panic broke out and our communications were severed. From what fragments we were able to make out before the link shell went completely silent, we can only assume the phenomenon has spread to the capital. The others need you, Shalyn. Please, you must help them. Will do. Give myself a change of clothes first, and then I'll head out that way. Gotta dress myself warmly again. Having you there will make all the difference, I'm sure of it. Camp Broken Glass was their first port of call, so you'd best start there. Hopefully Lucia will know where they are. There's no telling what you'll be walking into, so you'd best take every possible precaution. Better dress in my warm stuff. I should also glamour my gunblade. Pains me to send you off alone into unknown peril after you've only just returned, but 12 willing, you won't be alone for long. I'll be sure to let Thancred and Y'shtola know you're back, at least if they're responding to their link pearls. Also, do I have any better gear that I can equip to this? I may just have to buy better gear. Probably have to buy better gear. Well, these at least. Okay, let us... Oh, can't plug... Okay, fine. I'll probably have to buy better gear before I head out there. Because this stuff is a little outdated at this point. Which means spending money, yay! However, I doubt I'm heading into a dungeon in Garlemald. Because I already done the dungeon in Garlemald. So, I shouldn't have to worry about too much. Alright. It's fine, you can roll back the VOD and watch my reaction. Although a chunk of it was me being distracted yelling at my cats, unfortunately. Let's see. Okay, here we are. Full plate armoire proprietor. Weapons. There be gunblade. There it is, okay. Oh, this is just level 80 stuff. Alright, well then, you probably get better stuff. What is that? Oh, that's probably hunt board stuff, okay. Let's see. Yep. That scene tells us a lot about Heidelin. Okay. I think I should probably be able to get decent gear. Actually... Oh, it's so far behind. I can't do Gunbreaker there. It's too far behind. Unfortunately. So... You know what? We are just gonna do this. Let's see. It's gonna be odd wearing that gear as a dancer, but I don't think it has any, class exclusive gear on it, so... Oh, wait, it does. No, wait, it doesn't. That's... Okay. The hat is class exclusive, but... my current circlet should serve just as well, I guess. That's the only exclusive gear. Why do I have that ring on here? I don't know. Otherwise, well, the gloves are... I'm wearing the gloves, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, enough of me mumbling about things. Let's just do this. So, we don't get that circlet, but we have everything else. Alright, now let's go to Garlemald. Let's see, Garlemald is up here. The arrangement of this is like, is it alphabetical or what? Anyway, Camp Broken Glass. Order of the Aetherites you visited. Really? But I went to the Sharlayan ones before I went to any of the Isilbard ones. And I went to... And all of Shadowbringers was before this, so why is Isilbard above these, if that's the case? I don't know. Okay. This is a solo instance. Whee! Shallan, and not a moment too soon. The skies over Garlemald are ablaze, but its events are on the ground that concern me. Oh, yep. It is in fact burning. As you will have heard, your fellow Scions are ahead of you. We cut the customary greetings short after we received word from our troops that the Magnaglakis, that the Forum's airship had landed. It was then that the heavens began to burn. I dispatched your friends at once to ensure the refugees come to no harm. I would have you join them immediately. Additional support is en route, but we will discuss them later. I trust you're ready to depart. Several cutscenes will play in sequence. Yay! Yeah, I mean, I'm just confused why they put the Isilbard ones above the Norvrant ones. Earlier on the Magnaglakis. Doom, demise, and destruction. Well. Somewhere out there, Xenos is reveling in all this.
No.
You know, considering Xenos doesn't feel emotions.
No. We were promised an escape. Not the same we fled.
I shall not meet my final days here in this blasted waste.
Fortuno changed his clothes.
Calm yourselves. Your panic is our greatest enemy. Come, we must
True,
build
but
a
at the
line
same
of
time,
defense.
then why are the Sharlayan ones below the first? We can't let child die. Oh, hey.
How?
Leave the fighting to us, Father. You must lead the people to safety.
I can handle this pair. You?
Shall tend to the refugees. Let us be about it.
Alright, who am I playing as?
As you wish, my little lord.
Oh, it's Stydian. Looks like I'm playing as Alpha now. Okay. Yeah, you get to learn stage gameplay. Good thing I already know some. Eventually, I will load into this madness. Alright, Predator Refugees. There we are. Fight as Alpha now.
Our commander has attention. See to the wounded.
Let's see.
Help is at hand.
Interesting. Okay. Doses 3! Levier Doses 3! Toxicon! And yay, Estinian is here to help me. Don't you turn! Don't you do it! Aww. Alright, let's see.
Those who can stand, come with me.
Easy now. Deep breaths.
You're fine.
You're safe now.
We're all good. No one's gonna become monsters. We're all fine.
Worry not for the refugees, but for yourself.
Nope, nope, my job is to take care of people, Dad. Oh, that's a thing. Estinian. Need that and that. That's what will give you your shield. For the compliment, Estinian. Tons. Dosis. And now we need to attend to Estonian again.
But not hard enough!
Okay, it's dead. Oof. Okay, that's fine. No duty complete, but I wasn't really expecting it at this point. That's one thick lady.
Help! Someone, please!
What?
Eh, more monsters. We're fine. We're fine. I think. We're probably not fine.
No. Don't. I don't want to die.
Oh, hey.
Forward! Let not a single fiend escape!
Hey, good boy. Thank you, Euless.
Wait, that's... Euless and the army. So, you've recovered then? In time enough to be of aid, for once. We
Nice to know I can still adopt you.
For now, we must fight! To repay your salvation in kind, or with better! For Garlemald has her pride!
Of that I've no doubt.
Good gods. Of all possible saviors, the Imperial Army.
Yes, of course you know. Is there a problem? Hey, Alexei and Graha. They tend to team up a lot.
I had hoped to take all of them down at once.
Think a withdrawal might be in order?
Oh, sod that. You know who would never abandon these people to their fate.
You know who. Wolves.
To be devoured by their former friends. That'd be beyond cruel. These beasts must fall here and now.
Well then, I'd say it's high time we threw caution to the winds.
And they are not dressed warmly.
So long as you spare me the heroic sacrifices.
Yes, please. No more getting yourself
Let's
killed,
go.
Graha. Playing as Ally say, okay. Alrighty. we've seen one like this before. Looks like Graha's doing both white and black magic, which isn't surprising.
Nothing to worry about.
Okay. That's not what I meant.
The air crackles with energy. Find cover!
Hopefully this is fine. Okay, I did well. Yay!
As they say, turnabout's fair play.
I don't want to finish this battle real fast. Alright. Now allies enable limit break. Yay! At least they're using the limit break because it's what she does.
There's not the barest trace of ether. Maybe there really is no way to bring them back. Thank you for saving our lives once again. I remember you, from Purusha. You helped us there too, didn't you?
Ah, you're from Palaka's stand. I'm glad you're still in one piece. Or you will be, once I see to that injury of yours.
Look out!
Hey, another one. Hey, Alice is doing her trailer thing. And Graha's doing... Hey, it's the trailer.
Get out of here! Quickly!
They just had to recreate the trailer here.
I won't lose them. Not a one. This will be a brighter future. I won't let a madman's apocalypse ruin everything we've fought to achieve.
Good, Graha. I'm playing Pali Raha now.
Get it together, Alize. You're embarrassing yourself. And in front of Father, no less. You might never measure up to our champion. But we ask too much of her as it is. You mustn't let our sword in the darkness fight alone.
I guess that's supposed to be the Coils reference. Hey, I'm here. And I promise this isn't Xenos this time. Despite my ominous walking. I guess I'm not playing as Pali Raha. Sorry if I kept you waiting. I'm back! That's precisely why you should never skip your squat regimen. I'm back.
I can look after myself, you know.
No doubt you can.
Everything's in order, I trust?
I have some information to share as soon as we deal with matters here.
I've had enough of this rabble. Come on!
I just love the extra flourish they give to drawing and putting up your weapons. It's just such a nice little touch. Come in battle, you will fight us, Shalom Renage. Yay!
Trio for the ages.
If only we had Alphino, we could make it a quartet. Especially since we don't have a healer in this particular group. Alice. Oops, that's not what I meant. Oh well.
Just the beginning.
Another thing.
I had a feeling.
Hey, there's Alphino and Estinian. Hey, nice to see y'all. Now, Alphino, get to work. People are dying.
With me.
Alphino, you really couldn't stand to heal Raha a bit, please. Don't you dare let my brother die. This isn't good. Oh, okay. Just doing this. Proc my last feather, please. There we go. Alphino, you are dying. Hello, Euless. Good boy.
You must board without delay. The ship will depart ere long.
Your offer to host us in Sharlayan is most appreciated. But will the final days not soon fall upon it as well?
Your hesitation is not unwarranted. The satrap entrusted me with your lives, yet I have failed your comrades. Nor are you wrong to fear that this corruption will continue to spread. I cannot promise you complete safety, even in my homeland. What I can promise is that I will do all in my power to protect you. That power is not inconsiderable. Even now, my countrymen are preparing the vessel that will deliver us to a sanctuary on the moon. Join us on our journey there, and beyond, to new horizons. Come to old Sharlayan. Please.
We would be fools to refuse such a generous offer made in earnest.
It seems they've a new destination.
The people of Radzat Han have known too much suffering. The march to Garlemald will only bring them more, short though it may be.
I quite agree. Fortunately, they have you to look after them.
Yes. Well.
Behind you! Just there!
Well, that's a thing. Chasing a dude. That's a very ugly thing.
More of them.
Oh! Well, hello there, love!
Xenos! Here!
How you doing? I missed you.
You'll be all right. Hurry to the airship.
You were saved by my love. So how you doing?
Why have you come?
A heretofore unseen beast. 'Twas ripe for the slaying. Poor sport, alas. Unfit to temper my blade.
Oh, for the love of... You cannot still be on about a rematch.
Eventually we'll have it.
That is, and has ever been, my sole concern. You, on the other hand, are fixated on a different quarry.
Yeah, I'll get back to you soon.
Your passion pales before mine. Yet neither hate nor despair seems sufficient to recapture your misdirected bloodlust. So, I hone my blade, and I wait.
You could join us, you know.
That's it. That's all you care about.
Well, that's because
Garlemald
Xenos isn't
is
a
in
murder
the
monster,
ruins.
really.
Our homeland, the nation you rule, is as good as gone. Along with so many of its people. Not just soldiers like us. Not only those who fought and killed for power and duty. Innocent civilians. Murdered by their own flesh and blood. Lost and confused as they breathed their last. While we who survived with our lives and minds intact were left to freeze to death. The Eorzeans tell me all this was your doing! You slaughtered your countrymen! You did! For what?
For nothing, in the end. So much wasted effort.
You bastard!
For your own sake, Eulus, you must control your anger. It will serve no one should it consume you and see you transformed.
Very true, very true.
Would you be happier had I a good reason?
What?
Good point, Xenos.
If my motives met with your approval, would you no longer resent the outcome? If so, then perhaps a beast's skin would suit you better. Duty,
Xenos actually makes a good
honor,
point.
Morality. All constructs of convenience when put to proof. Surely the war taught you how easily power becomes the tool of the self-righteous. How the people's justice was merely a means to their ends. Yet you would ask me why. Ask any creature of this star and those above for answers, and they will tell you what suits their fancy. And they would be right to do so. What meaning there is to be found in the petty vicissitudes of your existence must be gleaned by you, and you alone. Should you seek it in battle...
Also, I like how they put Viator as his middle name.
Assume your rightful place as a notch on my blade.
You are a blight on the Garlean race, and there would be no more satisfying way to expunge it than by beating you to death. But I will not be party to another tragedy. I refuse to lose anyone else because of you. So go. Go! And may we never suffer your madness again!
Again, comparing these two, their dispositions and their childhoods, when they grew up so close to each other. Xenos, you can seriously join us, please.
Perhaps you found meaning in living this way. I cannot deny you found strength. Yet if you only pursue your hedonistic pleasures and pay no heed to the plight of others, then no one will give you the time of day. You will never get what you want. Not even the battle you pine for so dearly. You'll be alone for an eternity, and you'll deserve every agonizing second of it.
He's always been alone. That is the tragedy of it all. If he had ever had anyone in his life before me, things could have turned out so much more differently.
We're ready to depart. The refugee ships will be leaving shortly, but I've asked mine to remain for the time being. There's room enough for you to join me on it, if you wish.
I did find that whole exchange kind of encouraging a little bit.
Surprise. I needn't agree with the Scion's methods or intentions to acknowledge that their deeds are deserving of gratitude.
We appreciate the offer. But might I ask why you are delaying your departure? I presume it is not solely for our benefit.
I must visit Garlemald ere we return to Sharlayan. Having caused such an uproar, it is only meet that I explain myself to the Ilsabard contingent.
Allow us to accompany you then. We should be glad to facilitate, given our familiarity with all concerned. If you would like to join as well, Eulus, we can speak of recent events on the way.
I'm both encouraged and discouraged by that exchange with Xenos. It's like, I do think he might wind up...
He'll be off to your seat on the forum next.
...fighting with us, but he also might die in the process. I'm just thinking. And it's got me a little concerned. Speak with Alice. Alice has not spawned in yet. PS4 problems. Let's go! Someone's random Eos is hanging out here. Lucia popped in, but, oh, there's Alice. Okay. That the final day should manifest here, too, after everything these people have suffered, is a fate beyond cruel words. Nevertheless, with allies old and new at our side, there may yet be reason to be there is yet reason to be helpful. It's been a while since last we spoke. For some time I was not myself. Lucia and the others told me what happened that night, and about the events that took place while I was receiving treatment. It was only then that I realized the lengths you and yours would go to. I know I might never be able to repay you, but I'll be damned if I don't try. And most of all, I want to thank you, all of you, for everything you've done and continue to do for the sake of my people. At the very least, I'm glad our own members are accounted for. This is the contingent's base of operations, I take it. Okay, I don't think you're staying inside anyone. Okay. We couldn't save them all, but if we had arrived any later, it would have been a massacre. Things were looking bleak until you showed up. You and the first showed up. Though there'll be time later to discuss your journey to the first, there is one thing I must ask. Did you perchance speak with our friends at in the Crystarium? I did. Lena and Becklug both warned me against overexerting myself. Strange that they would express such similar sentiments, identical in fact, but their advice is duly noted. Oh, Raha, they just know you that well. Oh, dearest brother. see Xeno standing there, so uncaring and unrepentant. Gods, I don't know what came over me. I just blurted out the first thing that came to mind, but looking back on it, I stand by those words. I would say I hope they don't incite him to further villainy, but to be honest, I doubt he even remembers what I said. Anyway, enough about all that. It's good to see you again. Yeah, we went to the first for just a little bit, and then we were off again. It was a very vague thing that happened. Although it was nice getting to see our people in the first again, at the very least. Alright, Magitech Glaives. Okay. Magitech Glaives. Level 88. I guess these will do for now. Talk to Lucia. Okay.
No major injuries then. Good. I briefed the recovered soldiers and sent them on their way as quickly as I could, but nevertheless feared they would not make it in time.
The additional support was invaluable. Your men saved more than a few lives. Though not all, I regret to say.
I take it that I'm addressing Lucia Junius. I'm the Forum's envoy, Fortuneau Leveilleur. And you are owed an explanation for these most dire developments.
I thought I'd use the teleporter to do a shortcut, but that didn't work out too well.
Another trial wrought by the final days. I was beginning to suspect as much. You doubtless feel some consternation having been forced to abandon your original plan. But trust me when I say you were right to send the refugees elsewhere. Beasts have been sighted within the capital. Perhaps it was a stroke of grim fortune that the population was decimated beforehand, as they've yet to appear in any great number, but in time. In any case, Maxima leads the remainder of the contingent in an effort to cull the creatures and evacuate the populace as we speak. Once the airships have taken to the skies, I pray your men can be persuaded to join him.
You'll permit us to retain our weapons?
I wouldn't have sent you after the Scions were I expecting you to stab them in the back.
And I, for one, would not consider past transgressions more relevant than future contributions.
You better stand by those words, Alphino.
Regardless of the circumstances that saw us at odds before, we need men of courage now, more than ever.
Perhaps my thoughts are too much to hope for, but hope I will.
We swore to defend Garlemald, and so we shall.
It seems you have everything under control. You will excuse me then, for mine own duties await.
A moment, Master Fortuneau. You did desire to express your appreciation for services rendered, did you not?
I did. Though if you intend to again ask that Sharlayan alter its course, you will find my gratitude insufficient.
'Tis nothing so onerous. I wish to hear the details of this grand endeavor of yours.
Do you swear to listen and to learn, and not to embark upon some scheme to impede us?
I swear.
Any other, I would doubt. But you, I trust to keep your word. For not once have you broken it. Very well. I will request that the Forum make you privy to our plans. You may await our summons at the Baldessian Annex, assuming the decision is in your favor. Does that suffice?
It does. You have my thanks.
Excellent. You can regale us with tales of your most recent sojourn to the First while we wait.
Yeah, the First. Yeah, that I totally did a lot there. I did so much. Earwiggles.
Did you hear something just now?
What was the ear twitch for? What did we hear? Oh. There's a Loperit. Why is there a Loperit here, and why does it look zombified? Do I even want to know? Is this Pudding Way?
Where is this star's blasted pudding?
Oh, Lord. Wait, why are they all here? Why? What are you? I'm the only one here who's seen these things before.
Dawn may banish
Arianze's here.
even the darkest night.
Hi, Arianze.
And to this bitter clime bring warmth and comfort.
Hi,
Tis
Arianze.
heartening to see such an assembly upon my return. I thought often of you whilst I looked down upon our star's brilliance from the moon above.
Yes, but what are you doing here? And dressed like that? Aren't you cold?
You're one to talk, Alice.
Verily, I fear for my health should I proceed to expound upon our purpose ere I procure more suitable garments.
Then allow me to summarize.
Seriously.
We're here because none of you lot are up there. Nor has anyone deigned to send word about any changes in the plans.
We're working on it, okay?
It's rude, is what it is. At least that's what I thought at first, but then folks got to wondering if you weren't in a spot of bother, so we decided to take matters into our own hands. Come down here and help, if our help be needed. So she says, but it's also something of a convenient excuse to visit Etheris. Oriange made it sound absolutely marvelous. More so before the impending doom, but still. And it's not like there will ever be a better time. What with the aforementioned doom?
Marvellous, they say, yet not an ounce of pudding to be found. I must suffer Oriange's inferior works no more.
Hey! Maybe consider the plight of present company before you go blathering on about pudding and doom? As I was saying, should you require any assistance with whatever, we are at your disposal. We were born from Heidelin's love for the lives of this star, so naturally we would much prefer to see them continue. Twiddling our thumbs up on the moon is hardly conducive to that, though, is it? Not when you've all got such precious thoughts and feelings and hopes for the future deserving of more active preservation. Speaking to Oriange made us realize that while we've carried out our duties to the letter, We failed to fulfill them in spirit. From there, it was just a hop, skip, and a jump towards resolving to do better. So please, show us how. Help us help you.
If you see a big guy with a scythe, run the other way. He'll think you're new prey. I'm just saying.
Forgive me, but are they...
They're Loporits. You've been talking with them.
Thy distant collaborators, indeed.
What you think?
Hail, fellow. Well met. You'd be a member of the Forum, would you? It's an honor and a pleasure to meet you at last. I'm Livingway, Hydaelyn's right paw. That last bit is very important. As am I, if I may humbly say so myself.
I bid you welcome to our star, Livingway. On behalf of the Forum, I thank you for traveling such a distance to meet us. As you have surmised, preparations for the Exodus have not proceeded as smoothly as we had hoped. I should be happy to personally escort you to our headquarters in Sharlayan, where you may advise us as you deem fit.
'Twas with reluctance that I set aside the great work of readying the moon for habitation. Be assured that I did so only after the Loporits made plain their earnest desire to come hither, and I myself felt a growing certainty that their contributions here would prove invaluable. 'Tis trite, perhaps, but I followed my heart.
Good, Urianger. Now go get a coat. Good to haveth you back. I get to mock your speech.
For a time, at least. Nevertheless, 'twas worth the journey to find present company well.
Now please put on a coat.
Will thou attend us at the Forum and lend thine own wisdom?
Putting way in the background still.
If that's all quite settled, can we start moving before Urianger catches his death? Even I'm freezing out here.
Agreed, I've been saying that.
Oh, I dare say you'll warm up quickly once you're aboard the airship. Sat shoulder to shoulder with our fur-covered friends.
Growls all over them. He thinks they're adorable. Do you think they're cute too, Ashi? You want to eat a little prit? Loprit. For some reason, I always want to call them Loloprits. Not sure why. That's just how I first read them. They're actually Loporits. Anyway. Back in Sharlayan. Good, good. We are not dead. I dare say Master Fortuno was as nonplussed as we to learn the identity of Hydaelyn's lunar custodians. As he will soon discover, they have much and more to offer the Forum. Might I suggest we return to the Annex forthwith? We may yet have time to discuss thy recent adventures ere we are summoned to the rostra. Alright, let's Alright. It's gonna take a bit before I get to Aether Shard. So like that interaction with Xenos is like it's both encouraged and made me fearful. Because I have a feeling Alice's words might actually like stick with him a little bit. And thus, like, inspire him to, you know, have us, inspire him to, you know, fight with us to forestall the final days, if only so that we can eventually have our battle. You know, just, you know, it would make a certain amount of logical sense. But same token, I feel like in doing such a thing, he might end up dead. So it's like I have my hopes and I have my fears. I am not sure how either way is gonna go. I want to believe. I want to believe. Alright, is it time for me to finally tell everyone what I learned and the fact that I traveled to the far, far distant past? Not that I'm complaining, Urianger, but I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Nor I thee. In extolling the virtues of Aetherius, I did inadvertently awaken the Loporit's desire to avert our beloved star's demise. Kryal tells us you have obtained new knowledge that may aid us in our ongoing efforts. I have news to share regarding our study of the Ethereal Sea, but your findings are certain to be of the greater interest, and so I would rather hear them first. So to what revelations did Heidelin's Elpis flower lead? Oh boy, this is gonna be a long story. Long story. "12 hours later. Then this dynamis is what drives the final days. If it and Akasha are one and the same, this all but proves Nadhana's theory. Were an entity, through sheer force of emotion, to channel this vast, dormant reservoir into a raging river, its power might surpass even that of ether. But if our star is so replete with ether, said entity would need to be outside its influence to effectively manipulate the dynamis of the great expanse. Meteon. Or rather, the sorrow and suffering of fallen civilizations that she has been hoarding for millennia. Untold anguish and fear and hatred, drawn from every corner of the universe, all for a single purpose, the destruction of Aetherius. Then our foe is no longer some unknowable calamity. We have but one aim, to defeat Meteon. You make it sound so simple, but you're wrong. Vanquish Meteon and we deliver the world from the final days. But to even attempt it, there are two conditions. First, we must determine her location. Before Meteon escaped, an enchantment was placed upon her by Vana, the woman who would become Heidelin. The implications of temporal magics are not entirely understood, and so we cannot assume that our Heidelin and the Vana you met in Elpis are one and the same. Nevertheless, due to her intrinsic qualities as an all-powerful being, I'd wager that Heidelin possesses the knowledge we seek. Whether she would share that knowledge with us, however, remains to be seen. After all, she intends for us to flee Aetherius, not to stay. Do you suppose she has abandoned her pursuit of Meteon? The Vana I know would never give up. That's my impression too. Otherwise, she wouldn't have used me as a conduit for her will, or provided clues such as the Elpis flower. I believe she has been waiting for mankind's answer to Hermes' question. So, what's the second condition? We must find a means to reach Meteon. The moon? Naturally, our chosen method will depend entirely upon wheresoever she has made her nest. Then communing with Heidelin must by necessity come first. Did you and Master Matoria have any luck in your investigation into the Ethereal Sea? Sadly not. Though we enlisted the help of Arenvald and other Echo-blessed allies, we couldn't detect so much as a whisper from Heidelin, even from within the antitower. Master Matoya is of the opinion that in the years since abandoning it, the Forum has found some other method of receiving instructions from Heidelin. If so, it would most likely be some form of apparatus for observing the Ethereal Sea, but closer to home. Sorry to interrupt, but we've just received word from the Forum. Your presence is required at the Rostra, where they intend to discuss the Great Exodus. Then Father was able to persuade them. They're finally taking us seriously. Let's hear what they have to say. Out of curiosity. There's still one more area we have yet to visit, and we need to finish up in Labyrinthos as well. So we're getting close, but we're not there yet. To think the Crystal Tower of the First was capable of such feats as sending one's soul to the distant past. The events you witnessed and helped shape may yet hold the key to forestalling the final days. I'm reminded of dear friends in the future I unmade, whose selfless efforts saw the 8th Umbral Calamity averted. In this timeline, at least. Too much has been sacrificed for us to abandon Aetherius now. After sending Graha and Estinian back to Garlemald, I stayed in Locus Amosis for some time. Being an imperial province, it was already in turmoil before the onset of the final days. You wouldn't believe the difficulties we had overseeing the evacuation of the villages we visited. I have faith the detachment we left behind will continue our work and shepherd the people to safety. To what safety can be found in a world coming to an end? Master Matoya has suspected for some time that the Forum has been constructing a new facility for the purpose of surveying the Ethereal Sea. Of course, as the custodian of the Antitower, which would presumably be rendered obsolete as a result, she has a few things to say about that. Nothing that should be repeated in polite company, you understand. I don't doubt it. Oh, Matoya. After you left for Garlemald, I went to Labyrinthos and tried to reach Heidelin using the Elpis flowers. Alas, my attempts were in vain. I can only assume that she spent a vast amount of her power in the confrontation with Fandaniel and is presently unable to communicate. Indeed, as her presence left my body, I could feel how faint it had grown. I hope you don't mind me staying behind while you attend your big meeting. The roster reminds me a bit too much of the supremely scary tribunal in Ishgard. You'll forgive me if I keep my distance. Father has granted us the opportunity we've been waiting for. Though we know not what information, if any, they intend to reveal, there is only one way to find out, to the Rostra. Well, that was much quicker response than I was expecting. Nice to know our efforts and the Magna Glaskis didn't go unnoticed. At first I wasn't sure what to make of Hermes and his motives, but it's like we discussed at the Great Work. When faced with the harsh realities of life, some seek the release of death, others grow defiant. They fight. Either way, it is our right to choose. 'Twas Heidelin's commandment, in the event Zodiark should perish, the Loporits were to deliver the people of Aetherius from harm. Though that be the limit of their duties, they possess knowledge unparalleled of the great expanse and the means of its travel. Should they be persuaded to assist in our efforts to reach Medion, we will do well to heed their counsel. Hey, it's daytime. Apparently Game Awards we won something, according to the shout chat. I'm guessing we won, but like, best MMO of the year or something. Nice hat. Alright, no longer distracted. Rostro Steward. The forum is in session, and as such, the rostro is closed to visitors. We've been summoned. A sign of the 7th dawn? Very well, you may wait in the corridor. Of course, entry will only be permitted on the condition you leave your armaments at the door. Lest you forget, this sacred institution holds rational discourse in the highest. The implements of war are expressly forbidden. Okay. Sure. No one tried to kill me. It said they're in session, but there's no one here. Ah! I love how we're all just looking ominously down at this spot. It's kind of hilarious. There's a bun who can't wear the hat.
There is a matter I wish to raise with you before we enter. We are here to listen and to learn. But if the Forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends. By your leave, of course.
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Thank you, everyone.
If I may have your attention, the ad hoc session will now commence. The purpose of today's assembly is to brief the Scions of the 7th Dawn, at their request, on the Great Exodus. You may enter.
Big old group of us.
On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glacies. We shall not soon forget your service to us and the people of Radzat-Han. The Satrap, whom we have informed of the refugees' new arrangements, sings your praises as well. As an expression of our gratitude, we will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly as we are able.
Then let us begin. First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
You are. It is for this purpose that Sharlayan has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenon and conveyed to safety. Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Sharlayan citizenry which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after. Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn, beginning with our allies. Radzat Khan was foremost among these, but since the final days have already come to Thavnir, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
An ambitious plan. You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
As many as we can.
And how, pray tell, do you decide who to leave behind?
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
So you don't plan to bring the Garleans, got it.
Questions as to the validity of that approach aside, are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct. This Ark, as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational, and could be launched even today. However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
Seven hells. Is there anything to be done?
The ether burner, the primary means of propulsion once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient. Though cargo is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus, we are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem? We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on 2 conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
"'Twas simple enough to deduce. You have a Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the anti-tower had you no other means of communication. One far more convenient, I suspect.
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your Ark.
We would be at liberty to refuse this proposal.
Of course. If we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here, who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
Delightful as always, Master Alfino. Oh, we couldn't have asked for a finer plan. Allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? The satire writes itself. Yet, what field has not benefited from a change in perspective? When we are at wit's end, what we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration. I, for one, have faith in my erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their terms to be perfectly acceptable.
Order! Order! We have no time to waste on debate. I call a vote. All in favor of agreeing to the Scion's terms? "71 in favor, 28 against. The ayes have it. Fortuneau, as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state. And bear in mind that regardless of your personal misgivings, this is the will of the Forum."
Poke, poke.
Very well.
I call this session to a close. Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
Alrighty. Rest assured, I have every intention of honoring the Forum's decision. My affinity for espionage may have earned me the title of Archon, but I was completely unaware of the Forum's plans. There may have been clues here and there, had I been of a mind to look for them, but contemplating that possibility only serves to further wound my pride. Not that anyone could have realistically surmised that their brilliant stratagem was to build a giant ship, fly to the moon, a still larger vessel in truth, and use that to travel to another star. Even now, the whole idea seems positively absurd when spoken aloud. Of late, I have seen no sign of the Loporits. This being their first opportunity to experience the wonders of Sharlayan, the potential for misadventure is nigh infinite. Perhaps if Midgardsormr were still alive, in the traditional sense that is, he could have offered to help the vessel attain the necessary speeds. Then again, there's no guarantee his contribution would make enough of a difference to matter. The further we pursue the mysteries of the universe, the more I struggle to comprehend the fortuitous nature of time itself. We measure and quantify it based on observations of celestial bodies, such as the sun and moon, but from your account it is unclear whether the ancients viewed time in a similar manner. I mention this because while Venat knew the final days would occur at a defined point in the future, she presumably had no way of knowing exactly when. Even so, the completion of the Forum's preparations to escape to the moon aligning so closely with the advent of the final days is surely no coincidence. I'm a little vexed that we've yet to learn of the Forum's replacement for the Antitower, though I expect that in time they'll share that with us too, and with Master Matoria, if they've any sense. Phew, I'll admit bringing up the issue of the Forum's incomplete arc was more than a little daunting. They were, to their credit, quite open about the current state of affairs. What was even more surprising, though, was when they took Alphino up on his offer. While I very much take issue with the Forum's approach to selecting whom to save and when, they're not wrong for wanting to minimize potential conflicts. Fortunately, if this plan of ours actually works, the Great Exodus itself will become entirely unnecessary. Not Fortuneau. Sorry about not letting the rest of you in on my plan. I was admittedly thinking on my feet for the most part. But since we require both a means of communing with Hydaelyn and reaching Medion, In the spur of the moment, I saw involving ourselves with the completion of the Ark as a way to work toward both objectives simultaneously. However, we must first keep our end of the bargain while solving the problem of the Afterburner. I'd like to think it is not a challenge beyond our combined expertise, or at least the expertise of our extended circle of associates. It might behoove us to learn how an Aetherburner actually works before we attempt to improve on it, though. Alright, this seems like a good place to stop for the day. I do have work super early in the morning tomorrow, but I will attempt to do a little streaming tomorrow afternoon. In the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. Never cease to be amazing. And bye for now.